What's going on, guys and girls? Don't want to leave nobody out. You know, I have seen spectacular strides in the automotive mechanic realm. I've seen young women building engines, racing cars. That's interesting to watch. Very interesting to watch. However, my main focus for this video is oil. I was considering using a high grade oil because, you know me. I'll try almost anything. And I didn't have enough. So I said, okay, well, what if I mix it with 1 quart of regular oil? So I did my research. I'm always on the internet looking for something. And I came across these two guys that in recent months, since the late last year, I've been following. And my understanding is that the newer oils have a different base. And when I say base, it's like the main ingredients, the basic ingredients that you would use. Take Royal Purple, for instance. A lot of people say it's a great product, comparable to Amsoil. And you got a lot of people that just love Amsoil. Amsoil is the best, Amsoil. But then as I'm doing the history of oil, I learned a lot of different things. For one, I learned that Castro and Mobil 1 got into a fight some umpteen years ago because Castro wanted to make a synthetic oil without using the PAO. Okay. So what did they do? Well, there is a process by which you can take crude oil, refine it until you get it just where you want it, and then add your additives. Also, the high mileage oil, I've learned, has a type of ester mixed in with it. I'm like, why does that sound familiar? Ester is an additive chemical that is added to a lot of high-end synthetic motor oils. I'm like, oh, okay. Why do they put it in there? To kind of soften up the base oil, because the base oil is so strong, you can add additives to it, but they won't combine, they won't stay stuck to each other. They'll separate quickly. So you need a go-between to bring everybody together. So this got me to thinking, what is the difference in base oils? We know Royal Purple is a premium synthetic oil. I'm not sure what they use as a base oil. It could be a PAO. But then I heard that companies like Pennzoil use natural gas. But at the same time, I'm also learning that even though they use natural gas, the gas that they're using compared to other companies is different. And I say that to mean there are two states of gas, like natural gas, and then there's this, not ethylene. It's a weird name. I see it in my mind, but I can't articulate it right now. But when producing, what do they call it? GTL, gas to liquid. There's natural gas, and then there's this other gas. I'm like, what? So do we really know what is in our oil? So of course I couldn't do a video without O'Reilly somewhere nearby. Why would I do that? It's just not nice. O'Reilly's been good to me. So of course, even though I got my Castro motor oil from O'Reilly, still, every now and again, I'll pick up an O'Reilly's brand for comparison. Now, I haven't tried it but once. I put it in, a matter of fact, I put it in the Malibu when I had the Malibu. And I used 1 quart. I was a quart low. I actually was running Valvoline. I remember that. And it's like every time I change my oil, a few thousand miles, a few hundred miles before I change my oil, I always end up burning off a quart of oil. So I put the Syntec in there, and within a few hours, it quieted down. A few days, the knocking was gone. So did it strengthen the Valvoline? I wonder. And if it did strengthen the Valvoline, if I was just adding to what was already in the Valvoline, then is that because the base oils were similar? Or was it the additives? So what I'm finding out is that you really shouldn't mix oils, because not only are the additive packages different, but now I'm finding out that the base oils that they use are different. Some base oils are so strong that they don't require you putting a lot of additives in the oil. And others, average. So yeah, you're going to have to put a lot of molybdenum in, or you may have to put a lot of other products in there. Your cleaning agents, your anti-foam agents, all that good stuff. So I bought different quarts of oil so that I can make a mental note of which ones I want to try. Truck and SUV. I still haven't seen a lot of videos about that particular brand of Mobil 1. But what I can say is that from what I've been able to research, even amongst the Mobil 1 oils, the oils are different. Even if the bottle says Mobil 1, the oils are different, and not just because the weight, 530, 520. And side note, did you know they're working on a 7 edition? What was it? It was LSAC GF7. And I'm like, okay, what's the big difference? From what I hear, it's pretty much the same as LSAC GS6, but they've added some more testing. One of which is timing chain wear. For the love of the mechanic gods, why? Why would you wait until 20 years later to decide oh, maybe we should do a test on timing chain, where when you switched over from the timing belt to the timing chain, it only makes sense that you test to make sure that the current oil is going to lubricate the chain so it doesn't prematurely wear out. Because once that chain starts stretching, it's going to jump timing, and that's going to throw off everything. Like, why would you now release this information? And if you were testing timing chains back then, again, why would you now release this information? That's kind of important. People don't have money like that. I'm at a loss for words. I don't get it. But back to the main focus of this video. Oil. 3 oils, 2 reputable companies. One, I've tried the Syntec before. I hadn't had any problems with that. As far as that one bottle, I want to try a. Matter of fact, I did pick up a gallon of Syntec because I want to try that next. But from what I understand, even though these 3 oils would work, I'm not supposed to mix them together. I'm not supposed to mix them together. Why is that? Well, for one, I don't know what type of detergent. The average person doesn't know how much moly, how much zinc. You just, unless you do a oil unless you have your oil tested, you don't know exactly what's in it. Now, different companies use different numbers. The amount of additives in Royal Purple are going to be different from the amount of additives in Syntec from O'Reilly's. But why is that? Why is it so different? Because of the base oil. Because of how the foundation that they building the oil off of. The base oil is going to be different across all 3 of these companies. And depending on the strength of that base oil, that's going to let them know how much molybdenum to put in there, how much zinc, how much calcium. And sometimes in an additive package, they actually have to dial it down. You know, they leave the zinc, but then they take out something else, or they lower one product, and then they level up another product. So it varies. The base oil in the Syntec is different from the base oil in the Mobil 1. And it's the same thing with Pennzoil. Not only that, Pennzoil has a platinum and an ultra platinum, and both of them are different. They are not the same. From what I've been able to gather, you shouldn't mix oils, even if they come from the same company. So say you're a quart low on platinum, and you think, oh well, ultra platinum is better, so I'll just throw a quart in there. In the short term, it's not going to really damage anything, but you don't want to do that all the time. You don't want to just buy 4 quarts of regular platinum and then buy a quart of ultra platinum and just run it into your next oil change. You might get away with it, but the general rule is that you don't do it, because if it goes south, man, it's gonna be problems. So yeah, a product like the Platinum versus Royal Purple, they're just made different. They have different base oils and they have different levels of additives. So instead of me making a fruit cocktail of oils, I will adhere to the rules and I will only use that one particular oil at a time. But if I should fall short, if I should start burning oil, I will pull out one of these quarts of oil and we'll just pray that I don't do any damage. But other than that, I gotta clean up and then I'm out on the road. Talk to you later.